Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Let's Paint. I'm your host, Trooper6, and we are continuing with the Obsidian Suns from the Sanguine Heresy, successors of the Thousand Suns. And, like I had mentioned before, these guys are supposed to be what I call as null-born. God, cannot talk. So they would be either born as a null, or they would be mutated. And I'm pretty sure I'm just going with the mutate route because due to whatever the hell Belisarius Cawl did, because yes, these guys are Primaris only, even though I'm a firstborn lover, these guys are Primaris only, coming straight out of the Indominus Crusade, right alongside my Proto-Marines, my Bjorn, even my Void Goths. The Void Goths being Successor Chapter, based on the old Goths and Visigoths of the ancient Germanic tribes. All right, I need to put this where it won't touch and it can dry. That'll work. All right. So, I'm forgetting my own paint scheme here, and that's exactly why we had this guy out here. All right, so he does have a black face, so we're going to do that. All right. So, yeah. The color scheme, as forgiving as I am, is pretty darn specific sometimes. All right. Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. Sorry, folks. I wanted to make sure I really got that. All right. I'm going to go ahead and paint that hose. Paint that hose. We're also going to leave the little connector. Damn, dude. There is something wrong with this paint. It has thinned out on me. I mean thinned out to the point where it's almost a wash. I mean, Black Templar is supposed to be a lot lighter, thinner, however you want to think about it. This shield will be black. Go right along with that armor. Honestly, was not sure what to do with the ropes either. All the ropes that are hanging on to the cloak and everything, going across his Aquila on his chest. I'm like, my God, what do I do with that? What the fuck do I do with that? I'll tell you what we do with that. We don't worry about it. You don't panic. You don't freak out. You don't overthink it. Because I don't know about y'all, but I have a lot of issues when it comes to overthinking. It's just unfortunately part of what I do. But I do very much like to I try to not exactly preach, but I try to preach to you guys that please relax. Think about what you're doing, and excuse me while I restart this movie because, damn it, it's awesome. It's nothing terrible to have in the background. All right. Now, before we jump to anything else on him, let's see. You guys want to do some leather work? I think I want to do some leather work. I don't think I'll mind doing leather work. We really could do some leather work. All right. We've talked about it enough. Let's just goddamn do some leather work. So what we're going to bust out here is some Steel Legion drab. Steel Legion drab is going to be the Army Painter equivalent of leather brown. If yours is a little off, shake it. I don't know. But for some reason, so like personally, I usually wear a lot of black. I don't go with brown. I don't fucking like brown. I really don't wear it or anything. I don't have brown leather anything either. Yet, anytime I go to paint these guys, 9 times out of 10, it's almost it's honestly more than 9 times out of 10. But about 90, 98, 99% of the time, it's probably 99%. Anyway, I do brown leather. And I almost couldn't tell you why. And right now, this brown leather is looking a little light. Almost like a flesh tone. Interesting. Trying to make me look bad here, aren't you? You're like, oh, okay, you were pretty fucking confident on your speech there. What if we just, change tone? I know they would do it. They're always listening. What was it? Fucking Toy Story was right. I know the toys are real. I know they're alive. I hear the gunfire. And it's not just the hunters because I live in the country. It's not them. I checked. That was a little bit of the glue flubblage. Yeah, it was about as smooth as that when I was gluing him together. For some reason, I was like, okay, look here, mister. You were $85, and I really, really am going to expect you to fit together better than that. Said minimal time did I spend having to fix anything. All right. Now, before we jump into anything else, now that we got that done, I talked about it. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Flesh Terror Red. If any of you are unaware, my favorite chapter, my boys are the Flesh Terrors. Why? Because I'm fucking angry all the time, unfortunately. That's honestly a very personal thing that I am not proud of. I wouldn't say that I have anger management issues, because I'm not that extreme. I'm really not. However, I'm not what you would call a happy boy. I am around my family, and I am with my family, because I love my family very much. But besides that, so you know what I was thinking what we could do with the base? This is part of the reason why I primed it black, and you see that it's black, but he was gray. I primed him separate. Damn, they really did send me a fucked up brush. But I mean, the pack was $5, so I can't really expect too much. Hold on, while we do a little bit of maintenance here. Let's clean this. All right. How's everybody been doing? I hope everybody has been enjoying themselves. One thing about the show, I hope you've been enjoying this setup. If not, I can go back to the other setup. It won't bother me. Well, it will. The only reason it would bother me is because this all right here is open. It is so open, and I love it. I love being able to work comfortably. I can adjust my hands and not have to worry about bumping into the damn camera. But I also have to worry about not being in frame, which does happen. But it happened with the other one, and the camera was right in my face, so what excuse do I have, right? But we're going to go with Flesh Terror Red. Why? Because I fucking love it. Who doesn't love a good, deep red? And don't you fucking sit there and go, it's maroon! It's maroon! You freaking maroon! I know. I just don't like that word. Unless you're talking about good old Patrick Maroon from the fucking Norfolk Admirals. I don't know what team he's on right now. But if I remember correctly, he's still in the NHL. But hey, Patrick, met you once, maybe twice, like with a Skate with the Admirals events or some shit like that. I don't know, it was something. You guys were all nice. Of course you were. Of course you were. You guys were great. But as far as like the flesh tearers, I never pictured them wearing quote unquote maroon. I always pictured them wearing crimson. That's how I always figured it would be. But no, crimson belongs to the fucking word bearers. And that makes me mad. Oh, that makes me so mad. And you see we're being kind of cavalier with this. Because these contrast paints are... they're heaven, honestly. They're fucking heaven. I love them. I love them, love them, love them, love them, love them. I've said this before, but I'm pretty sure they are the equivalent of the Army Painter speed paints. As in, when I finally looked up the speed paints from Army Painter, I haven't painted with anything yet, but when I finally looked them up and I saw them using what they use, or sawing how it was applied to the model, I had an oh moment. Like a no shit. No, fucking makes so much sense. And it really did make so much sense. I might go with white. Maybe. Sorry. Damn, that random thought threw me way off. Man, sorry, I was thinking color schemes again. Because while I'm talking and painting, I'm also still trying to keep track of what the fuck I'm doing. Damn, that whole thing needed to be painted. I'll come back. We'll just get some red into here. All right, there we go. Just have to try to not forget that part when we come back. All right. So, my apologies to everyone. It has now been too much, and now my brain cannot remember what the fuck I was talking about. So we're moving on. You want some lore? How about some lore? All right. I don't have any. No, seriously. Right off the top of my head right now, I've got nothing for you. So I hope that I can put some lore in the descriptions. That is one of my goals. Because coming up with lore on the spot is not exactly terribly difficult for me. Not trying to boast or anything like that. But it's not exactly been a problem for me in the past. Oh, son of a bitch! I was cleaning the brush. That was it, man. That was it. All right. And now the flesh terror. The fact that I was trying to keep everything going with it, right? And that would be to compensate for any of the color distortions or color inconsistencies, I might say. Oh, damn. Speaking of color inconsistencies, we gotta get the black back out. As I did not do a good job on that knee. I'm an idiot. Wasn't paying attention to it at all, was I? Nope. But lore. So these guys, I want to say, don't have a home planet. I want to say that they are a fleet-based chapter. Now, if that changes in the future, I'm very sorry. It's probably because it didn't fit with whatever else. But at the moment, we're going to say that they are a fleet-based chapter. Why not? If you guys have any suggestions, recommendations, or a really cool epiphany or something that would honestly make canonical sense even, throw it in the comments, dude. So the one thing that I have been, I guess, neglectful or not portraying fully, I don't. So the Sanguine Heresy project, as much as it is my heresy, I did kind of want this to be something that we could all pitch in. We could all have a little suggestion here and there, or a lore thing, or even a color scheme suggestion. And you would know. It's right there. It's right there for you to know that was you. That was your decision. That was your input. All you. That would be awesome. Militarum green. This thing is bugging me in the back. I've got Astra Militarum green. This has been bugging me, and I want to see if I had the right idea. Because I was going to go for like a midnight landscape, right? So that's partly why we primed it in black, because it's going to make everything very dark. So we're going to slap our Militarum all over this and see what it does. Jumping real quick from that model just to capitalize on what the hell my mind was thinking about, because it is going all over the place. I haven't been able to paint in a couple weeks, and it's starting to show. But anyway, let's see. So obviously, with them being nulls, they're not going to have psychers in their ranks, so they have no librarius. You would say, how the hell do they travel in the warp if they don't have a fucking navigator, somebody psychic? How do the black ships do it? That would be my counter. That is my counter. That's not what would be my counter. That is my counter. For anyone that would say, hey, how the hell do they even travel the warp if they don't have librarians or anybody like that? Because they're all nulls, everything would be so fucking painful to them. How the fuck do the black ships do it? The nulls who round up everyone who is an unregistered psyker to be sacrificed to the Emperor. How do they do it? And there's your answer. There's your fucking answer. You let the lore, the established lore, speak for you. I think that's one of the tricks of trying to create homebrews. And if there's one thing I've noticed I like to do, it's create things. And I have quite a few homebrews. Now, I know all of that was rock and not grass. Just trust me. Just trust me. I didn't want to go with oak brown. Oh, son of a bitch. I didn't want to go with oak brown because even though it's a very dark wood color, it's not going to help us. It's really not going to help us right now. All right, so we got 17 minutes. Let us show you what we're talking about when it comes to the pauldrons. All right. We'll do one pauldron. You're going to get out some true copper. All right. Get out however much you want. Get your true copper out. You're going to take your pauldron. You're going to take your paintbrush. You're going to load that paintbrush. And you're going to load that pauldron. All right. Splop, blop, 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 blop. All right. Just go on there with some true copper. Get that shit nice. Get it shining. Get it pretty. Get it even. Everything seems very liquidy. I wonder if that was my brush. Probably was this time. I probably didn't clean it enough. And I am going to do the inside just a little bit here. All right. So, kind of like a dry brush technique, just slapping it on there. And that is to minimize the brush strokes that will show up and to even things out just as much as I can without fucking it up. All right. So, yeah, you're going with true copper. All right. It doesn't look as dark as the original model because the original model was primed black. All right. And it's got null oil on it. So, yeah, you're going to go with that. And then you're going to take some true brass and you're going to go around the rim. Now, since I painted all the fucking rim, you're not really going to be able to see me do that right now. But I will get a little bit out. Ooh, just a little. And we'll show you this. Because I also do like to use the true brass to give some... Sorry, my paints were doing it again. Yeah, it was my brush. It wasn't dry enough. So yeah, I like to use this true brass to do the, not the highlight work, but I guess highlight work. A little bit of the contrast. So I wasn't sure how these two would go together, but they work well together, you know. Sarai, Sarai. And we're gonna let it sit for a little bit before we touch those other edges. That will be okay. It is sitting at an angle. At an angle like this, is not sitting flat on the thing, so the paint will actually dry. It'll be all right. So like that true brass alongside the true copper, you could take the helmet, for example. Now, it has the leaflet around the head. I honestly can't think of the proper name right now, so sue me. So it has that around his head because he's a captain. Now, we could accent it with the true brass, or we could do what I'm probably going to do, is go with the white. Now, the Aquila is copper, but the skull and the edge of the wings, I honestly can't think of the name for that either. That is in true copper, or true brass. Fuck. There's too many true bullshit colors. I swear, man. Speaking of true bullshit colors, I never did hit the last of that Steel Legion drab, so I guess we're going to do that. Let's see. I want to say you can use black leather if you really want. For those of you that want to paint this, I mean, by all means. Like I've already said, you can paint models however the fuck you want. However, I know, like me, some people really do want to paint things as true to the source material as you can do. And that's why I find Carcharodons so challenging. Because if I remember correctly from Red Tide, that they actually have some pale-ass armor. But anyway, alright. That's going to wrap it up for us today at 22 minutes. Alright. So I will see you guys on the next round. Stay happy and healthy. May the Void Father guide your brush. Peace.